Welcome to True Health Tuesday, and the truth will set you free. Setting goals. Okay, so yeah, it is raining, and it is the first week after Christmas. Teddy Roosevelt. Far better to dare mighty things, to win glorious triumphs, even though checkered by failure, than to take the rank with those poor spirits who neither enjoy nor suffer much, because they live in the gray twilight that knows neither victory nor defeat. Now, I'm not talking about people that are wearing these. That gray area where they're afraid of everyone. Okay, now, please click and subscribe below. We are being shadow banned, and those that are sporting Dr. B, God bless you. Thank you very much. Go to Dr. B VIP. You can watch this thing uninterrupted because we are going to have a portion that is not approved by the government censors. Extreme Health Academy. I was on there a couple of weeks ago for a 2-hour, 15-minute webinar. I'm doing that every month. But also Bergman 14, Bergman, the number 14, is your code to get on there for no charge. And we're posting this everywhere we can. Now, when we talk about goals, how many people here have ever set goals and not achieved them? Oh, you better put your hand up. Good. Okay. Everybody has. But the importance of this, without a direction, you have, or without a goal, you don't have direction. Now, I use Shackleton because at the same time he was exploring the South Pole, there was a similar group exploring the North Pole, and the majority of those people degraded their expedition into cannibalism. It was horrible. Shackleton saved every man. How did he do that? But I mean, just look at this job description. So you're going to Antarctica. Men wanted for hazardous journey, small wages, bitter cold, long months of complete darkness, constant dangers, safe return doubtful, honor and recognition in case of success. Please, Ernest Shackleton, 4 Burlington Street, apply. I know. It makes you kind of... So his boat got stuck down there, got crushed by the ice, 634 days. They survived on their own. Now, no cell phones, no helicopters, nothing. They survived on their own. And then they made it to this island, but they had to sail 800 miles across some of the worst seas the world is in the world. Okay. And I mean, the navigation, everything. But what did he do? He and all his men survived based on goals. Cultivate optimism in yourself. That's what a goal is. Stay grounded in reality. Be aware of your self-talk. Self-talk is huge. Find outlets for your own feelings. Let go of guilt, long-term goals, and short-term milestones. So if you've had guilt about not setting goals or setting a goal and not getting it, that makes sense. Now, if you're living in America or on the third planet from the sun and happen to be controlled by a government like ours, I thought it was interesting. Because think of this, this is 3 years into propaganda of shutting down the entire economy. What would a person that's been in a virtual prison like that really want to do to change their life? Exercise more, eat healthier, that makes sense. But eat healthier, weren't you banned from certain restaurants? Yes. Spend less time on social media. Yes. Okay. Cut down on drinking. Renovate part of the home. Yes, you've been stuck in those 4 walls this whole time. I just thought it was really interesting because the goals of like 2018, 2019 would not be the same. Okay. It's just you're looking at goals of people that have been locked inside and abused for a few years. Now, I underlined a couple of these because I put 2 goals that I had before, open a chiropractic health teaching site and connect with my family. Connecting with family is still a challenge because they are part of the program run by the government, okay? And I'm not. Hopefully we'll be able to find a common ground where the unvaccinated can be with the vaccinated. Open a healing center in Thailand. I'm doing everything I can to work that out. But Now, these are goals, but if you don't achieve them, there's no unrealistic goal, just unrealistic timelines. And based on the environment, it could be changing. So today, what we're going to go over is review of 2022. I know you're thinking, I don't want to review it, man. Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you. Okay. Determine the highest values. The 100 Things to Do, Be, or Become is the coolest exercise in the friggin' world. And this is going to expand your mind and expand your goals. Choose the top 5, make a vision board. Mindstorming, you're going to learn the difference between mindstorming and brainstorming. And these things are the keys, literally the tools that successful people use and troubleshooting. One of the things when you're doing goals, they got to be in the positive, in the now, and affirmative. So if you're saying, I just don't want bills, man, or I just want to pay less bills, okay? The universe is only going to hear bills, bills, bills. So you'll achieve that. You'll have a bunch of bills, okay, instead of abundance. Now, quit smoking, okay? Oh, God, that's a loss. Or regain health. Add more juicing, okay? Have it done in the present tense. So when you're wording the goal, word it like it's already been done. Now, a lot of people will have limits on their brain. You know, I want to get you a new car. I want a new car. I want a new house. I want this. I want that. Okay. So can you get a goal? No. Too much money. The prices are up there. The interest rates are being raised. The economy is going to crash. Okay. You don't want to think practical on a goal. A goal is a dream. A goal is a genie. Okay. This is a genie. You say, genie, I want this. And I want it like this color, this shape, this smell, this size. And it could be anything. It could be the ultimate relationship. It could be the ultimate trip. It could be the ultimate business. It could be anything. Health, wealth, success, love, purpose. So we got to break down those barriers. Go back to school, any kind of health goal, travel goal, skydive, write a book, whatever you want. Okay, but is there any biblical references for this? Yeah, when you look at all of the texts that we honor, okay, what do they say in the Bible? How hard is it to get? You got to ask. What does it take to open a door? You got to knock. I mean, and this is what I tell patients all the time. I said, demanding people get what they want. Why? Because they're being clear. Worst thing, okay, and this is for all the girls in a room, worst thing that you can say to a man, do you know what that is? You know. Because we don't. Men are slow. Okay, we're really sharp at a lot of stuff, but we haven't a friggin' clue. And so what does it say in the Bible and the religious text? The more you worry about crap, the better it turns out? No. That's a fallacy. So I love the Edison one. Fail forward fast. He said he never failed at anything. It just took him 1,000-step process to produce the light bulb. So don't worry about failing, okay? Because I mean, we've got a stigma on that, and that's why people, particularly coming out of 2 years of propaganda, they're afraid of their own shadow. They're wearing a mask while they're driving a car alone. They're afraid to breathe. You know, I see them walking around. Oh, there's 10 people there. I've got to put this on. Okay, I mean that's psychotic. Okay, but they're afraid to fail. So now this is one of the greatest techniques, and it's on your handout. Just know that when you're filling this out, do an accurate assessment of 2022. Okay, and you can divide it up in anything you want. I've got this divided up into business, finances, health, family and friends, romance, personal growth, fun and education, and physical environment. So if you really, really, really like where you are on physical environment, then you're going to put your line up here. If you're living with your neighbors on a couch, okay, and you have to share a bathroom outside, you might put your physical environment down here. Unless you've just recently been divorced from somebody that's yelling at you all the time, then that would be a joy. Sleeping on a couch, alone, not listening to yelling. No, not that I've been there, but okay. So it's really based on your judgment and stuff. Okay, a career and work. Are you happy with where you are? Are you being challenged? Are you being supported? Are you being appreciated? So if you're firing on all of these areas here, your lines are going to be on the outside. And that the theory is this is how if your wheel is round, you're living in harmony with your environment. And realistically, write it down, okay, and check. And what do you think? What are you taking enough time for your health? Are you taking enough time for wealth? Now, and I've got this in romance, finances, health, spiritual, business, career. And I've labeled it 2014, 2017, 18, 19, 2021. And you'll see there's been a lot of changes around here because there's a lot of changes around here. I mean, in 2021, we were open 5 days a week at this office, 4 days a week in Tijuana. I lost 4 employees because of the stress. And some of these people have been with me 14, 15 years. Okay. And I'm putting up, stuff on our front window that says, look, OSHA doesn't have authority. Their requirements that they were suggesting for in 2020, we now know that none of it was based in science and it was all ridiculous. But I had to keep the doors open. So I put these things that they couldn't, shut it down. But that was adding a lot of stress to our office. So we had to change it to 5 days, down to 4 days a week in Huntington Beach. We're now back up to 5 days a week. We're up to 4 days a week in TJ. But there's a lot of challenges. And anybody else experience challenges like 2020? Nobody? Okay. Yeah, I'm. Duh. Okay. Yeah. So this is one of the greatest exercise, and it's a great way to reflect on let's say you got high in romance. Could you make it higher? Could you spend more time with your friend or lover? Okay, now reality versus limitations. Biggest thing is we limit ourselves. And there are people that are blind that have hiked at every mountain in the world. There are paraplegics that can hike. There's climb. There's so many things that you could see physical, emotional limitations, but people are able to overcome it. The problem is we have to overcome the mind, and that's the key. And this is where we do the 100 things to do, be, or become. But first, you got to determine your values, and not values like, yes, I'm moral, or I'm this, or I'm that. No, what do you value? What do you spend your time on? And you could do this, and the DeMartini method is just brilliant. What do you fill your personal, intimate, virtual space with? What do these items reveal about you? Like my desk, okay, is similar to Einstein's. He said a neat desk is a sign of a sick mind. So there is crap everywhere. Okay. And I'm talking books and books and books. A lot of them, I'll reference or I'll pull it down or I'll read it. But I like that. In the boat, I've got books everywhere. And so I love this. So what do you fill your space with? So this is actually what you value. Now, your values are as unique as a fingerprint. So you can't compare your values with others. And there's a really cool awareness or awakening. If your values are in harmony with not with you but with someone else, you're going to say should. Okay. Oh, I really should do that. Yeah, I should. Okay. Marshall Rosenberg says you shouldn't be shoulding on yourself. Okay, because you're not living with your values. So identifying what your highest values are is key. Now, this is the greatest exercise in the world to open your mind. Okay, it's so important. Now, in chiropractic and natural health care, we talk about that there's an innate inborn intelligence in you. And this is why if you get cut, you don't have to say, hey, look, be quiet, I'm healing. No, it does it automatically. Okay. You don't have to say, look, right now I'm digesting my food I had yesterday. No, all this stuff is done automatically. So there's an inborn intelligence. One of the most brilliant instructors, Dr. Jacobson, said, does a rock have intelligence? And intimidating as all heck. I didn't know if I should answer, but I said, yeah, it does. It's got weight, it's got mass, it's got an electron charge where it has some, difficulty in pulling it apart. So it's got the intelligence of a rock, which isn't that much, but it does have intelligence. So there is. So there's a universal intelligence that you're going to be able to tap into by doing this. Okay, and it's breaking off the limitations that you put on your mind. So you write 100 things to do, be, or become. Okay, and they have to be really, real, true things. Okay, like skateboarding. Okay, beautiful. Everyone in here can learn skateboarding. If you're older and you need more balance, okay, it might take you a couple of years to be proficient at it. Okay, I've got a couple of paraplegics and some quadriplegics that might have more of a challenge with that, but they could work it out. Okay, so the key is you're in there in a room, you're not leaving. It's just you, this piece of paper, and so you got to come up with 100 things, and you may be able to come up with 20 or 30. Okay, you get to 70, 80, 90. You're going to be coming up with some weird stuff like, okay, swim the Great Barrier Reef. Okay, go up, hike Kilimanjaro. What's that lake at the beginning of the Nile, Lake Victoria? Okay, yeah, I want to go visit that. Okay, Ethiopia, they might have the Holy Grail. Search some of the churches in Ethiopia for the Holy Grail. Okay, so this could be as fanciful as you want. I want to learn how to cooking in Tuscany. Okay, no, St. Petersburg. I want to go there and learn how to make pierogies. Okay, so it can be whatever you want. I want to see where the Great Khan is buried. Okay, the terracotta soldiers. Anything to do, be, or become. You want to learn how to speak Swahili. You want to, all this stuff. By the time you get to 100, okay, you're going to have crazy stuff. Okay, down. But then you've got to go back and look at each one that you put. And you got to put a 1, a 5, or a 10 next to each one. Could you do that in a year? Okay. Could you do it in 5 years? Could you do it in 10? Okay. If I was going to learn Swahili, I'd probably put 5 years down because my plate is pretty full right now. Within 5 years, I could probably get some books on tape and I'd be comfortable that I would be proficient in Swahili. Okay. Jumbo. Okay. So I just started. So and I don't even know if that's Swahili. So, now I'm going to get some comments like, what? Okay. So a 1, a 5, and a 10, because this makes it more real. For one exercise that you're just trying to get through it. Okay. And I've had patients that say, man, I was there for 3 hours and I did 10 things. And I'm going, okay, yeah, you got a severe blockage. Okay, take a new blank sheet, get your ass back in there. Okay, and how would you like to cook Szechuan? How would you like to travel? Okay, this and that. Well, it just seemed too hard. This is where the genie comes out, where you're tapping into that universal intelligence. So 1, a 5, a 10 next to each one. Okay, so could you do it in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years? Then you go back through and you pick the top 5 1-year goals, the top 5 5-year goals, and the top 5 10-year goals. And then you're going to build a vision board. And this is huge. So not only, for one, you're tapping into your brain, so you're breaking down some of your resistance by doing the 100 things to do, be, or become. The second one, you're actually gauging and judging. Could I hike the Great Wall of China in a year or 5 years? Okay, or 10. Okay, you might be in horrible shape now, or you might think that the political climate might not be conducive over there. So 10 years would be appropriate for that. So you write it down and then you make a vision board for all the 1-year goals. And so this way you see it. Not only do you see it, but it becomes real to you. Okay, and this is huge. It's like belief. is a combination of perception, evidence, and time. Like you may have believed that the world was being attacked by some unique, pathogen. Okay, a couple of years ago. Then you find out, oh shoot, it's no worse than the flu. Okay, but that perception is based on evidence plus time. So this changes belief systems. It's like, you may have a belief that you only live once. Really? Okay, I disagree with that. I think you live every day. You could die once. Although a poet might say, no, I've died on stage a whole bunch. So, and then your belief system, have you read a bunch of the Buddhist monks that talk about reincarnation? So there could be a discussion for a lot of these things. In fact, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Yeah, try going up the shortest day of the year, which was a couple of days ago in Alaska. Sun goes like this, not like this. It's going to be different. I mean, this is like my favorite analogy where this mom has got two kids. One is depressed all the time. One's happy all the time. Okay. And I mean, just weird. It's just odd to talk to them. And so she goes up to the psychologist, and the psychologist says, look, get the sad one, every toy they want. Okay. Put it in their room. And the happy one, give them a really bad gift, a crappy gift that he couldn't possibly enjoy. So, okay, sounds kind of weird, but she did it. And she goes into the room with the sad kid, and he's surrounded by these toys, and he's sitting there, well, if I play with them, they're only gonna break. Okay, she's like, wow, that's horrible. Then she goes in the other kid's room, and he's in the middle of this box full of horse poop. And he's throwing the horse poop everywhere, laughing and giggling and everything. And he says, what's going on, buddy? You can't fool me with all this horse poop. There's got to be a pony in here somewhere. So it's really your perception. I mean, and this is how you change. Because if you've been in America or looking at any social media, your brain is in a stress state. Because, the government told you to not work and then printed a whole bunch of money. Now they're going, inflation, don't know where it happened. I mean, this is crazy world. Okay, you can't even talk about that stuff, but your brain is in a stress state. So we've got to reprogram that brain, and this is neurolinguistic programming. Now, I totally recommend this, and it involves body posture. Why? Anxiety, stress, depression, and impulse control are located in the frontal lobe. This is why head impacts can negatively affect that. But body posture is going to change the influence to the cerebellum, and that controls the frontal lobe. Then breathing. Why breathing? Well, breathing, that little 2.5-pound brain burns 90% of the body's oxygen. So breathing is hugely important. Then volume and intonation. Now, and you're making a statement called I am, and this is where this is. You'll see the box of words on the bottom. 100% of people will say to themselves if they've had a chronic stress or injury. Those people in a stress state have mastered. And the words down here, and I don't have them up here, are burnout, hopeless, apprehensive, removed, depleted, uninterested, exhausted, withdrawn, bewildered, fidgety, edgy, helpless, insecure. I mean, really like, okay, the box of words on the top, your sample box, because we're going to reprogram the brain. But you're making statements. So it's typically, I recommend 10 minutes 3 times a day. But the reason I am is so important, it's also called the Moses Code, because, I mean, you figure the Bible, Torah, and the Quran, Moses is on this mountain. Bush is on fire, gives him great information, and he says, what do I call you, Bush? And the bush says, I am that I am. Yes, I know that sounded just like Charlton Heston. Thank God you remembered. But also in the Bible, Christ goes on to say, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the light. So, I am is very powerful. So I am before a group of words. And this is a good group to start with. But think of this. If you master your emotions, you change your physiology. And about people that meditate, that could ohm, and they can raise or lower their blood pressure. Okay, they can hold their breath for crazy amounts of time. You master your emotions, you change your physiology. The key is we're not taught this. We're not taught mastering emotions is so vitally important to setting goals and achieving the life that you deserve. Okay, that you can build. Body posture, hugely important. This changes the influence. But you're not going to see people walking around like this and saying, "Man, I am so depressed." No, I mean it's like they got the weight of the world on their shoulders. And you even know this. You go up to your buddy and you're going, "What's wrong?" "God, everything." Okay, so I mean, just that slight change in body is going to change this. And has anyone ever changed their emotions from one set to the complete opposite set in less than 20 seconds? You know you have. Okay, you're watching Chuck Norris or John Claude Van Damme kicking ass, and then all of a sudden you see a puppy running through a field, Hallmark commercial. Yeah, you can change it in a moment. You can change your emotions. Now, mind storming, this is huge. Mindstorming, you take one of those goals or anything that you want. You can put love, relationship, anything. Okay, now since a lot of businesses that were closed to protect you from the flu, um, yeah, okay, thank you. I'm glad you got that. So think how crazy that is. You might need a job. Okay. So what you do, and this is mindstorming, anything you want, you put it up there, but it's got to be something tangible, not like happiness. Okay. That's varies all the time. Okay. And then 20 specific actions you can do to achieve that. And I guarantee you, by tapping into that universal intelligence, tapping in that innate intelligence, by the time you get to the end of the list and complete that, you will have whatever it is. Try it. And a very, very successful chiropractor told me about this. I've done it 3 times and it's worked every time. And absolutely amazing. But like take work. Um, what kind of work do you want to do? Do you want to be a welder, an auto mechanic, a painter, an artist? Okay, look at the industry. What are the jobs available? I know there's a lot of college grads graduating in gender studies and they're working at libraries. Okay, and that's totally okay. I mean, you got to look at what you're going to be spending your time and effort on. And would you enjoy it? That's why, I mean, this advice, talk to successful people in the industry that you're thinking about going into. I talked to some engineers at Raytheon because I was good at math. Whoa, the group that I talked to were miserable. They were contract to contract, and it was just like, man, the accountant I talked to was just so enthusiastic, and he was describing my hell. Just being behind a desk, I don't have to see anyone throughout the day, and I can crunch numbers all day. And, oh God, So this is it's going to be each individual. It's like your values are as unique as your fingerprint. Anything that you want to do, the mind storming is the key. You actually will achieve it. And so know the difference. The goal setting. Because these could all be goals. And so you could put each one of these has that top subject in mindstorming. You can put get healthy. So what action would you do? Well, choose a diet. Look at rearranging time to walk every day. Look at this, look at that. Okay, those 20 actions, and you can do it. Get organized. What would you do? I don't know, buy a book on organization. Okay, there's so many things that you can do. The key is, what if nothing changes? Okay, there's got to be a pain of not changing and a joy of changing. Otherwise, it's really hard to change your lifestyle. And if you don't achieve your goals, you might not. But the goals are the key. It's not the timeline. There's no unrealistic goals. There are unrealistic timelines. And what if I don't fulfill my highest values? You might not be living them. I mean, we live to other people's values so often. Okay? Like did anyone in here ever put on a mask just to placate somebody? Or were you actually frightened of the breath coming out of your mouth? No, I could understand that. I've smelled coffee breath before. It could be horrible. Okay, so 20 years from now, they go, really? Okay, crisis, the Chinese character is danger and opportunity. So in every time a door closes, there's another one opening. If you have pain, it's going to trigger endorphins. That's the pain reliever 40 times more powerful than heroin. So you can find it. Loss, fear, disease. Okay, I mean, all of these have solutions. It changes, you got to change your perspective. So keys to health and wealth: sleep, exercise, pray, meditation, joy. You got to play every day. Your sleep patterns are hugely important. Okay, when you figure there's high disease rates at 9 hours or more sleep or 5 hours or less, optimal function is 6.5 to 7.5 hours. Prepare your mind for sleep. Journal, read, put the nightshades on. Juicing, blending. When you're in a stress state, this gets the nutrients to the tissue. Blending, blend berries. I mean, you can get frozen organic berries that maintain 95% of their antioxidants, and it lasts all winter. I mean, my oldest son's in Poland, and he's got, frozen berries that he picked this past summer, not frozen, but fermented. Organic plant-based means you can eat animals, but they got to be healthy. And if you're in a stressed state, it's hard to get the amino acids from them. Playing every day, this is the key. If you look at people in the blue zones who live healthy over 100, not one of them joins a gym, but all of them do something every day. They're lifting things, carrying things, working. I mean, it's fantastic. Take up a new hobby. Archery is a blast. Okay. And then the prayer and meditation, the I am exercise. I am healthy. I'm dynamic. I'm vibrant. Now, if you're having trouble with a relationship, and the greatest one is the only thing worse than being alone is wishing you were alone. Okay. So, I mean, to get out of that friggin' nightmare, a 90-day challenge, okay? 90 days, and do this even if it's not reciprocal, okay? You treat your lover and friend like the most amazing, fantastic, joyous everything, okay? And at the end of 90 days, you are guaranteed you're going to have a super tight, amazing relationship, or you're going to be saying, God, it's not working out, and I'm okay with that. And it works. The 90-day challenge is amazing. But people understand we communicate different. We can communicate visually, kinesthetically, by touch, auditory. So some guys, they're not talkers, they're touchers. Some are touchers, not talkers. Okay, so and a lot of women need that verbal, that talking. Okay, so just know that you can change this. Here, I'll put that back so you can take a picture. So when we talk about the keys, you can see that to achieve this, you need health. When we put this up, the 5 keys: nerve supply, exercise, nutrition, rest, and prayer and meditation, the goal is tie it all in. Because if you have all 5 of these working for you, you have a thing called health. And I'm talking dynamic health, where you're going to be able to live to over 100 healthy. You're not going to be afraid of disease, because disease really is just an adaptation to chronic stress. It's brilliant. Now, we're going to get into areas that the Ministry of Truth does not like us, because even though the Twitter files are being opened up and you're starting to see that the government was actually involved in censoring, that the censorship is still going on. Okay, we're still being shadow banned and everything else. So those that are watching Dr. BVIP, God bless you. Thank you for your support, and it will continue to stream to you uninterrupted. Those watching on YouTube and Facebook, please subscribe or link or share, whatever you can do, because we are being shadow banned too. So thank you and Happy New Year, and I hope you had a good Merry Christmas.